A video, a lesson on soloing over How High the Moon. And what we're going to work on are target notes and the scales to use on the chord changes. We're not going to use any altered sounds, and so we're going to do kind of what I just did, where we're playing around the tonal center. So we're going to be working with major scales, Dorian modes, except for the 2-5 of the minor, in which case we're going to be playing harmonic minor or the bebop harmonic minor scale. And so we're going to talk about how we can group all those lessons. I was playing pretty, horizontal. You can play this thing more vertical, sitting in one position. And we're going to work on that, because first you work on a few different positions, and then you can play all over it, whatever you want. So that's the key for this. Now we're not going to work at this gigantic, at this tempo. We're going to work a lot slower with this, and we're going to get it so you can hear the target notes, so you can jump to them. They're your safety net, and it makes it sound like you know what you're doing. So that's the key right there. No pun intended. So let's get into some close-ups. We're going to, again, download the PDF. I'm going to give you a couple of practice tracks. And this, again, is a fun song to solo over, and even at a medium tempo or a gypsy jazz tempo, which is super fast. So it's just a good, fun song. So you ready for this? Let's get into it with some close-ups. When we look at the first 4 chords, I've got G major 7 or G6, some G major sound, right? I think I talked about I have a hard time playing that chord. So I play this or that or whatever, or this or that, who knows. But anyway, and then we go to G minor 7 to C7, and I'm playing a 9 here, no big deal. But you notice I'm not playing flat 9, I'm not playing sharp 5, I'm not playing flat 5, I'm just playing 9 or 7, or it could be 13. Now, in this, as soon as these 2 chords hit, that is changing the tonal center. In other words, the song is in G. G is the 1 chord, but as soon as I play G minor becomes the 2, and C7 is the 5 of F. So the target note or chord is F, or the tonal center. These two chords point towards the tonality of F. Therefore, when I'm first playing in G, G scale works wonderful. And remember, whenever you do this, when I play a G chord and I'm going to play a G scale over it, the worst note to start on is G. So don't start with this note. Okay. So let's just get that established right off the bat. As soon as G minor 7 comes in, I'm going to play an F scale, because it's 2/5 of F. And an F scale starting on the note G is Dorian. Hear it? Okay, so now the target note, one of the target notes that I like to start with is the third of the chord. So I've got here a G major 7 with the third of the chord. Then when the G minor 7 comes in, I have a flat 3. And that is also the flat 7 of C7. So within my scale, I like to focus in on this note. So I'm going to play a G scale up here for the G. And then when a G minor comes in, I'm going to maybe play it here. Here's my F scale. Okay, but I might start on G. Okay, got the idea? So first I have this sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now don't get worried if you can't get the fingerings and all this stuff right now. That's going to be covered a little bit later. All right, I just want to get a review on some of these target notes. Now, do you hear how we're taking this and we're going chromatically down, right? And the next chord is an F major 7 with the third in the soprano voice. Okay, so I'm gonna, in my lines, I might focus in on playing some of those, focus in on that note. So I might have something like this. Hear it? All right, and the same goes through. Now I'm on an F, but then it goes to F minor. F minor to B flat. Now that is 2/5 of E flat. So as soon as the F minor hits, the tonality has changed once again. So now the tonal center is in the key of E flat. So therefore I'm playing an E flat scale there. So if you wanted to look at it as just scales with roots, I do something like this. Here's G, and I play a G scale. When I play G minor, I'm playing an F scale. When I play F, I'm playing an F scale. When I play F minor, I'm playing E flat scale. Get the idea? All right. So now my target note is A going down to A flat. So I can play the song like this. Which would make a nice string line, right? The orchestra playing, focusing on that. Then down to E flat. So E flat major 7 for the 9th bar. So you get the idea with that. Target notes, descending, third. Okay, and that's for the first 9 measures. So again, those are target notes, and then we play around with the scales that would correspond to the chord change and try to just grab some of those notes. So I might have... Whoop. F scale, E flat scale. Get the idea? So that approach is very easy, and it's interesting. It makes your solo interesting. Let's move on now to measure 10. Measure 10 now, I have a target note of F sharp and then the E flat. So it's around an A minor 7 flat 5 to a D7 flat 9, let's say. I want to pardon these strings. They're dead as can be. They've only been on here a year, but they're very dead, meaning year is a long time. And then it goes to G minor. Well, as soon as A minor 7 flat 5 hits, we're in the tonality of G minor, specifically harmonic minor. So, and again, don't worry about the scale shapes. We'll work on that a little bit later. But there is G harmonic minor. And I'm going to focus on the F sharp, the D, or E flat, and then a G minor. That's going to resolve down to a G. So in this case, I've got this kind of sound from the E flat, and then G minor, and I'm going to stay with that G minor and use the harmonic minor. I might as well, because it does another 2/5 change again. So, and so I went up here to these target notes, and then I went to G major. Then the song goes to G major. So it's deceptive again, right? Because first we went 2/5 of G minor, and then now we go 2/5 of G minor, but resolve it to G major. And then we have those are target notes as well. So let me go ahead and play some things right through the first ending from the beginning. I'm going to slow the track down, and we're going to go ahead and focus in on these notes. So I'm just kind of focusing in on just these target notes, trying to play something melodic. And that's a valid way of nice soloing. You know, as guys are younger, they play a lot of notes. When you listen to seasoned jazz players after a while, they don't play that many notes, but they play nice ones. So why don't you just skip ahead and just play some nice notes. Let's move to the second ending. Now what we came from is this harmonic minor, but now we're going to resolve to a G major, and I have a target note there of this. And then basically I just added these notes here for those measures, measures 18 through 20. And by the way, you could either play G majors, just play G major scale through that and let the chords react against the scale. And if you want to grab some of those target notes, that's great. So I could go from measure 17, something like this. Did the G major 7, and then I'm still going to stay with that G major scale all the way through that. Now, so you can see close up, let's go ahead and play again. And I want to show you how I'm doing this. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. E flat scale, E flat scale. idea with that. It's experimenting with those target notes. And I think that's really important because it gets the sound in your ear of the chord changes. So you might do that. You might just play the target notes against the track or over the track and just kind of hear it and then get a feel for it. And those will be the notes that you want to gravitate to. That's just the start, okay? There's lots of other notes that you could pick, but this is how it kind of naturally feels like it should go. Now, if you would take out the next page, and we are going to talk about scale shapes. All right, so take out this next page. It says scales shapes, and we've got some chord diagrams, and let's go over those scales. So as you can see, I've got like a G major 7, and basically I'm playing a G scale, and I'm going against my rule of starting on the note, right, of G. But these aren't actual notes that we're going to use for soloing. These are just notes that I want you to get used to playing. So here's my G scale, starting here in the 10th fret. My gosh, there's a whole mouthful of notes there, right? So I could take a few. You know, practice that scale. Get that scale down. Okay? Now, right within this vicinity is an F scale, but we're going to call it G Dorian. All right? So basically, look at, here's an F scale right here. Okay? F scale, A shape. But now we're going to call it G Dorian. So I'm going to start here on the note G with my little finger and go. Okay, so first G major. Whoop. Next, we're going to come down to our F scale now. I'm going to start here in F. And now I'm going to play F Dorian, which is an E flat scale. Notice E flat is right here. See it? Starting here on the 9th fret, or the 11th, excuse me. So I'm going to come down here and grab this F and go down to C. All right. And now when it goes to E flat, since we only have E flat for one measure, I wrote this scale out. What is written is this. Okay? But it still is, here's an E flat scale. You can choose any of those notes. They'll all sound great against it. So the exercise looks like this. G. Let's play that much with the track. Here we go, with the track. Okay, just that much. I just want you to hear that. Okay, so here's something new I want you to do. I want you to play a G major 7th chord, and I want you to play this. G minor 7. Just play it out of rhythm. F. F minor. So we're relating a chord to a scale. E flat. Get the idea? Because that's where you're going to be doing your soloing. And remember, between these scales, there's not a whole lot of difference, right? Between between a G scale and an F scale. What is different? Well, a G scale has an F sharp. F scale's got an F. F scale's got a B flat. The G scale has a B natural. So its only difference is 2 notes. So we got to make sure we know which 2, and we focus in on that. Okay, practice that for a minute, and take a little break and come back to this, okay? Let's move on. Okay, so now break time's over. Let's take a look at measure 10, and we're going to get into a scale here that it's something that I've played for a lot of years and didn't really know what the heck I was doing, I guess, because it's actually got a name. And what it is a harmonic minor scale with a flat 6, and a minor third, of course, root 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, that's a harmonic minor, and then it also, harmonic minor has a natural 7. But I always stuck in a natural, a flat 7, and then a natural 7. And what that is, it's a bebop harmonic minor is what they say. So who am I going to dispute that? So I like that sound, and that's what we want here. We want, and or I could play it differently like this. I like it better like that. Okay, so let's go close up on that, and let's continue on our worksheet. Here we go. So here is our harmonic minor scale, starting here on G. Remember, this is what we're going to be playing for the A minor 7 flat 5 to the D7, and it's going to make it sound like an altered D7, a sharp 5 flat 9. But now we're going to insert this F natural into it, so I get this. Now, if I start here on the F sharp, okay, now what I have written is this. And then for the G minor on measure 11, we're going into just a regular old harmonic minor scale. And then for measure 13, it's back to the G major scale. And now you know the turnaround in the song. We go B minor, B flat 7, A minor 7, D7 flat 9. So what we're going to play is this. Write down a B minor 7 flat 5, or B minor 7 not flat 5, arpeggio. And then a B diminished, an A minor 7, an A diminished. And then we start all over again. Love it when I make mistakes, so that's why I just keep doing it. And then G major. And then we start all got a track at 130 beats per minute. I'm going to make that available to you as well. But what I want to do is just play the scales as written on this exercise with the track, just so you can hear it, make sure all the notes work. All right, so you're going to have a couple of tricky spots, like play this turn around. You know, you're going to have to do that several times. You don't just work on that. Okay? All right, here we go. I'll count you in. 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so there's a handful of scale grips for you to work on. Now, if you want, you could go and switch that into other positions. And if you turn the page, you're going to see that. And basically, I just wanted to show you pretty much just the positions of the scales, so we don't have to go through all of the scales. Because remember, you know, you're going to just pick a few of the notes. You're never going to play this, you know. It sounds corny doing that if you were to play that. But you would go. Hear it? All right, let's go over now the other scale shapes in a different position. And then we're going to do this. I might show you another one, but you can work it out yourself once you get the idea. So let's go close up. Okay, and what we're doing now is I'm just going to run through the scales that I would use for maybe this shape here. Here's a G, D shape, right? And here's the scale that surrounds that chord. You might choose to, instead of play the F sharp here, you might choose to play it here, and the same with the B, so it might look like this. Or it might look like this. But I just want you to see that there's a G scale right there. And now, G Dorian, which is F major, right, is going to be right here. Here's G, right? Well, here's an F scale. Now, in the diagram, I'm starting on a B flat. Okay, so you notice we started this on a B flat, so we're going to go down with the target notes that were up here. We're just putting it on the 6th string. So now I've got this. I've got G, G minor, or G Dorian. I like, I call it minor. same as F scale. Okay, now the F scale is right here. Here's my F scale. Now, F minor is the same as E flat. Okay, so I could take a look and find my E flat scale, which is right here. Same as F Dorian. The root of F Dorian would be here, F Dorian, right? Same as E flat. So you can think in major keys, it's okay. And then E flat major, again, is just sitting right here. And then now G, if I want to go the bebop harmonic minor, it's sitting right here. Or G harmonic minor. Okay, and then the rest, that's all, the handful of scales, that's all you need to know. For you overachievers, I want to do one more. I'm not going to write it out, I'm just going to show it to you, okay? But you can work it out on your own and write it out yourself. Let's take a look at playing the G scale as the E shape. Okay, let's go close up. Here I've got G, G Dorian, which is just like an F scale, right? And then F scale, right here. F minor, which is just like E flat. And then G harmonic minor. Or G harmonic bebop. There's my 3 or 4 or 5 scales that I need for soloing with this song. So I've got this shape, this shape, this shape. There's a couple more that you could work on if you want. Okay, so for this lesson, remember what to draw from this lesson. Number 1, target notes. You want to focus in on those target notes. And there's a whole slew of other ones that chromatically go down. You could start with the 3rd and go down. You could start with the major 7. Okay, that's a nice one. You could start with the 9th. Maybe not, I don't know. But those are the big ones, okay? And with those target notes come from the scales. And the scales come from the key centers or the tonal centers. So if I've got G major, that's the key of G. Right? I play G scale. Worst note I could play is G against the G major 7. Then G minor 7 hits, I'm in the key of F. F major 7th right there on the G minor. If you want to look at it as G Dorian, go ahead. That's all you need to do. If you want to focus in on, then when F minor hits, you're in the key of E flat. Okay? When the chord of E flat hits, you obviously stay in E flat. When A minor 7 to D7 hit, you're in G harmonic minor. Okay? If you can just master that, you'll have a great time soloing with this song. Now, next we're going to work on some solos. We're going to work on maybe some altered ideas. So that's a whole nother group of scales. But till then, keep on picking, and I will see you later. Just have fun.